welcome back to the Community Podcast. And I guess, like I say, the future is bright because I'm very blue today. I'm very blue under this lighting here in our studio during these pandemic times. But I mean, I'm welcomed by a lovely guest that I've been trying to get on here for ages, and I don't know why it's taken so long. But, finally in the studio, well, through Zoom, is the lovely Mandy Lalley. How you doing, Mandy?
Hello. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you, Chase. I'm really happy to be on your show. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Well, listen, Mandy, I mean, like, I think that the people who follow us in the communities from Make It Right to Big Condo Radio to, well, the boring internet world of, of Zoom, they have actually come across the compendiums. And, like, even though we haven't seen you for a while on the compendiums, when the compendium used to be called the Midnight Thread, we had been introduced to you because one, you are not just a filmmaker, and you are a director, but you're an actress, so as well as a writer, and you come in to Make It Right because you're kind of like a transplant from somewhere else, aren't you? And I mean, we're going to find out more about that, but but pretty much, I just want to just say that you're one of those trifecta people, a Renaissance person. You're a woman with many disparate skills, would you say?
Oh, stop! No, I like to have a go at everything. I think when you're working in film, especially if you come from a theatre background, you tend to roll your sleeves up. And in indie film, if you haven't got a lot of crew on the ground, and especially with the pandemic and with lockdown, and you're having to take on multiple roles because you just we had the rule of six, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we could only film with six people or have six people on set. So it was a real skeleton crew. So you do have to roll your sleeves up and get out there. And
we're gonna get to your Skeleton Crew latest project. I know that's on the tip of your tongue, and I mean, I definitely want to find out how you fell out of the back of a van. But either way you look at it, is that I want to let people find out more about you, really, because that's what the community podcast is. And what I like is usually when I have these conversations, people go, "Why me? I don't know. Who am I?" and stuff. It's like, well, you are the hero of your own story. Generally, that's how I feel, and I think that when you're actually doing it, you actually don't realize kind of like what you're doing and how much you do in any given time. So let's start at, well, not the beginning, but back before. I call it like a post origin story. Where were you before? Where were you before you came here to Liverpool? Because you are only just new to Liverpool, aren't you? In somewhat shape or form.
Yeah, well, I've done a 25-year round trip. So I began in Liverpool, North Liverpool, and then studied down in London at Roseborough College, where I studied acting, performing. And then I fell into, I did a lot of performances up until 2005, where I was doing a lot of physical theatre and a lot of, I went to there was a kind of clown school and a circus space called down in London, where I did tumbling skills and those kind of things as well. So it was actually, I came from a performer background, and then I got this wonderful opportunity to work at Two Sides TV, which is a children's production company down in London. And I started off as a researcher, and I was in production then. I wasn't performing too much. I ended up doing production work behind the camera, and started off working doing live action. And that was, I mean, a baptism of fire, because these guys were really punching above their weight, and again, small crews doing massive, great big projects, 13-part series, things like this for Discovery. And
I love Discovery.
I do, but it was a real eye opener. So I worked from being a researcher and doing, being in a researcher role, to then catapulted up within one series to associate producer. So I became an associate producer, directed an episode, worked on animation. So I started, that's where I started. Really, that company kind of springboarded me into, you know, learning the whole ropes from pre to post production, you know, pitching to broadcasters, doing those kind of things, writing my pitches, getting in scripts from other writers, reading those stuff, you know, and reading film scripts. And so, yeah, it was great to do all that in 4 years. It was just like, that was 4 years that I worked with them. And then, you know,
but you know what,
ended up
no, go ahead.
Yeah,
you ended up where?
That was it.
Oh,
then I ended up setting up on my own.
Well, I'll get to that, but I just wanted to yeah, I'll get to that. I just wanted, I don't know if there's a lag on us, but I'll get to that. Your own company, but what I just wanted to remark upon is that, like, how easy the climb is, but how hard it is to get through the door, you know, and everything that, you know, because I mean, I come from that kind of arena where it's like people can rise up very fast once they're inside, but it's always hard to get inside and everything. You were going to say?
Yeah, and I actually, interestingly enough, we'll talk about the project that we've just, you know, that you brought me on for, the clowns, later, but it's a big thing for me. I have a real issue with people being able to, you know, especially from working class backgrounds, you know, people in diversity, you know, everybody who comes from not the higher tier, getting in and being dissuaded from working in the arts, because it's really hard from people from working class backgrounds to get in. And once you get in, as you say, it's nice and easy to go through the ranks if you work hard enough, you know, and if you're prepared to roll your sleeves up, if you're prepared to but it's getting that foot through the door. And, you know, I mean, people like you, Chase, who've, you know, you're opening doors with people all around Liverpool, which is amazing. And I have to thank you, you know, for the opportunities you've given us, because you know, because you are, and you and Sharon and people who are really kind of, you wouldn't get this opportunity down London.
No,
you don't, and you don't get this opportunity in Oxford. You know, I lived in Oxford for 10 years, and unless you're prepared to do it yourself, you're just not able to get in there. And I think it's a money thing, maybe it's just that people like to work with people they know and they trust, because you haven't got much time, you haven't got much money when you're doing anything to do with production. And I wonder if it's just because they work with people they know, because they work with, you know, because it's a
closed shop.
I don't know what it is.
It's a closed shop. It's closed shop.
It is a bloody closed shop.
And what it is the fact that what I think a lot of people, and thank you for the kind words, but I think what a lot of people don't realize is it's very easy to help someone, as it's easier to stab them in the back. So, like, in that fashion, is the fact that, you know, you can't let the pain of the past stop the things that you can see of the future. And in that aspect is that, you know, like, so collaboration is the key, you know. And I mean, like, working with Sharon has been a treasure and a good thing. And, you know, finding people like yourself, whereas, like, I believe when you started with us, you were acting, and stuff. And then, like, so let's push ahead there. Let's push into the accusation, right? Which is kind of like, how did that come about with you? Because, like, I think what it was that I was like, as a director or producer, I was like devising these monologues, right, and everything like that. And I think you probably suggested to Sharon and to myself, is like, I could pretty much do something if you let me, like, have a play with it, and I think I could come up with, something here. And what I probably want to do is maybe show a clip of the accusation.
Who's there? Who's there?
To show how blown away I was, just by the opening shot. So just tell me how that came about. What you suggested, like, I could do I think I could do something with this.
Yeah, I mean, the monologues were great that were coming through. There's some superb writing, and I'd seen a few monologues and I'd seen what people had done, and I thought that they, because we were filming them, if you were doing it for radio, then yeah, sure, it's good to kind of showcase the writing themselves with great actors, which you've done. But because we were filming, I thought, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. I want to have a little go, and I want to, turn this wonderful piece into see how much we can do on lockdown. I like experimentation.
Yeah, so, you have a very abstract style. I was like, and everything else like that. So a person of your imagination is kind of like, oh my God, let me loosen to the pen. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, all right, if she wants to do it, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? And you did it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, it's getting the chance to do it as well, isn't it? It's, yeah. I mean, to have this free reign, to have somebody going, go on then, give it a little go. You never get that. I mean, no. You imagine turning around to a commissioning editor and go, you know what? Yeah. I'm just going to do what the bloody hell I like. And they're going to go, actually, what our audience want. So having that freedom to be able to experiment. I mean, I'm actually a visual artist, as you've mentioned before. Yeah. But I do paintings and I love art, and I love
graphic design as well, don't you?
And I do graphic design, yeah. I mean, for the animations and things. So it helps if you. I mean, what I really love is to try and turn everything that I make film-wise into a painting. So you see it as, so it's structured as a painting. I try and kind of do little nods to other artists, and little, what they called Easter eggs. I think that's what they call them.
Yeah.
So if I put something in there, it might be, I haven't pinched it. It's just that I'm paying a little
it's called pay homage
maybe
to
another piece. Exactly. Yeah.
So then, moving on is so obviously after such a spectacular premiere or a debut, we were like, which one of these do you want? Which one of these do you want next? Do the magic again. And then came Flight, and
unlock the deadlock. I'm out. Not a great time to be out on the streets when the whole world is telling us to stay at home for our own safety. Ironic. Okay, well, we did Flight, and that was under strict lockdown conditions. It was it really pushed everything, and really tested how much equipment and knowledge and visuals I could actually push in lockdown in the house. And so that springboarded us because Ian was filming a lot of that, Ian Langton, who's actually a writer in his own right. And he's saying, I'm getting on with my own work now. And I'm like, no, you're being my cameraman.
Yeah.
And he does such a wonderful job, because he's an artist as well. So once we got Flight done, we wanted to, and the editing, and it's one of those that I always revisit because it did push every single boundary that we had. And we got very, very inventive with Flight, and then it kind of, the pair of us looked at more of the monologues and decided, well, look, if if we're going to do that, we're going to now start to see how much of the filming we can. So we went back to school. Basically, we did a lot of research, and we started to look at how we could do a lot more filming with very, very little. And I think the technology now helps, the people like us indies,
Well, what I was just meaning was like, you wanted to take flight to festivals.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's like, because like you got an interview on Mughal television, you know what I mean? And you actually wanted to take flight out on a festival route, as you do and everything. So I was just wondering how did that go, or is that still an ongoing process?
It is an ongoing process. Flight went to it did go to we entered it for a few festivals, but unfortunately I think what's happening is the festivals aren't going ahead because of lockdown. And
no laurels there.
Oh, I know. And I think we were just a little bit unlucky in the timing, that's all.
No. Well, it's still a possibility, isn't it? I mean, it's still a possibility. I mean, it is a very strong film and everything. So, I mean, I was just trying to encourage its journey to be continued.
Actually, on that point then, well, I will tell you, I had a chat with a person at the Plaza, Christine at the Plaza, who have done a few. The Plaza is a fantastic independent charity-run cinema in Waterloo, and they're another bunch who are punching above their weight. And they're fab. And they said, I said, I've got this film Flight, and she said, brilliant. Well, once everything goes ahead, can we show it? So it'll be shown there at some point. So I mean, that's lovely support from them, as well, and how brilliant.
Well, hopefully they can actually just do a Mandy Lalley collection, because it is building. Now, I mean, I don't want to zip past standing orders and everything like that. I forgot what it's called. What it's called?
First Orders.
First Orders. Another great film that you acted in, and we actually got to finally see the fantastic Ian Langton.
He's shy.
I know he's so shy, but he did a good job. Anyway, but what I do want to get to is what we're also mainly here to talk about is Clown Delivery, because I'll have to say, right, this seemed like a very difficult endeavor to start off with. Now, one is because, first of all, it's written fantastically by E. Rubert Gray, who has always contributed to compendiums and to the stuff, and but it was dense, right? The material was dense, and it was like full of like the history of clowns and this and that, everything, and it really needed somebody to kind of like wrap their heads around it and really figure out the way that it could be best represented. And I feel that you have done this.
Wow.
You've worked on this for a long time, right? We were like, every month, we were like, Mandy, what's up, Mandy? It's time for the compendium. You're like, well, I'm still working. I'm still devising, I'm still creating. It's like, man, that's, but, what you have achieved with Clown Delivery is phenomenal. So talk about the process of breaking down Clown Delivery.
My goodness, yeah. When we got Clown Delivery, it was, as you say, it was a big old script, and E. Rupert Gray, aka Ted.
AKA Ted. Hey, look, that's his writing name. You know what I mean? So
no, we talked a lot, and we had so much fun. I love Ted.
I love Ted.
He's brilliant, isn't he? And he's just we just had such a good try to not mulch it down, that sounds terrible. No, we tried to shape it down so that, because again, this would have been a good one for radio, because it's so rich in language. But when you're trying to do a visual piece, it's very difficult to get a through line, a kind of arc, if you like. And so when we discussed it with Ted, he managed to get it down to 2 pages, which is fabulous. So 10 minutes. So the 10-minute visual piece was brilliant, and then to try and get the through line on that. And when I get a script, I like to get what I do when I've finished reading the first bit is get all my first impressions down. So get all my first impressions down. I draw a lot, so I get all the elements drawn down in pencil, written down, all my kind of thoughts, and then I leave it. And I come back to it a week later. Poor you, Chase. It's just like, where is this? It could be done like, in 2 hours. But
and just to break into, before you tell us the magic of how you broke the script, right? So I was like, Mandy, please let me help you, right? And I'm a producer. I got a studio. You shoot in our like protected base, and with this character, this clown, we could create this green screen mirror kind of scenario. Let us help, Mandy. How about if it was like, I don't know, he is a man in a suit and he transforms into a clown, kind of like Pagliacci and everything. And then I realized, Chase, leave it alone. She knows what she is doing. Then I had to just kind of like hang back. Okay, voice. Okay, I'll leave her alone.
I tell you.
So how did you break it? Because you could reveal the break without revealing anything.
Okay.
How'd you break it?
Okay. Well, what we did. I mean, it was an interesting script, wasn't it? Because you and Sharon both had completely different interpretations. And you know what I would love one day is for some of us to get the same monologue and then do our own interpretation. I think that would be really interesting. To have a little,
sounds like she threw down a gauntlet. Damn. January compendium.
Do you know what I mean?
Early for December.
Yeah. I think that would be really, really interesting to give that a little wiggle, a little whirl, and see how, see what we all come up with. Anyway, so when you came with your thoughts, I did listen to your thoughts, and I also thought, well, I had this thing with Clockwork Orange, and I just thought, it's got to be filmed outside, and the lockdown and everything. I thought, well, if I do most of it outside, at least, then we've got brilliant places around Liverpool that I would have loved to have,
you captured, yeah.
It was this kind of post-apocalyptic idea.
It did. I was like, where is that place?
Where is that place? That it's like a. Honest to God, this is the most.
Don't reveal it now. Just say yes. I found it.
Oh no, it is the most insane place. It's down by the docks, and we cycled everywhere looking for locations, and we ended up going down to I can't remember the name of the road now, but it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But it ended up being a trucker's pit stop. I mean, it was, come 12 o'clock, all these trucks turned up, and I was like, it was quiet yesterday. It was just this big road with just rubbish everywhere. It's nasty, the performers turned up and they were like,
yeah, dressed as clowns. So anyway, it wasn't an insane clown posse. So how you wrote this script was the idea was that it was of some type of voiceover, a guy talking about the history of clowns and the different types of clowns, and then you got the fantastic Luke Morgan to play a clown, of course, but then the magic really came through when you got Mark Porter to be this narrator.
Both of us, sociopaths, loonies, madmen. Socially disassociative, cognitively, crazily screwed up.
And that sequence, and I mean, I can only just say that sequence, so it's like a build-up, right? But talk about that.
Okay, so well, actually, there was another actor that we need to really mention as well, is Duncan. And
Sorry, Duncan, I just didn't know your name.
oh,
I've seen your work though.
Duncan Cameron is, I mean, he's traveled all around the world clowning, and so you know, the mix of actors that we had in this was just an absolute blessing, because yeah, you mentioned Luke. He was just about to go on and perform Bojo, and unfortunately that's been, I don't know what's happened with the status of that, but that's been put back.
Lockdown status.
I know. I can't wait to see him as well, because he's, you know, he deserves a lot of support. He's in every, you know, he's just rolls his sleeves up, gets on with it, and he's just brilliant.
He's a chameleon.
Pardon? He's a
chameleon.
Yeah. He's just a joy to have on set as well, because he's just so helpful, you know. Duncan himself, he was chucking. We did loads and loads and loads of research into silent movies, which you'll see in the actual thing. I don't want to give too much.
No, I don't want to give too much away, but I do want to say is that it has so many different styles in this piece. I can't wait for people to see it. And the animation, you could say there's animation in it, and I think you did it.
Yeah. So all the post-production stuff, it was just me.
Well, all it was just me. I don't know why I can't just say that. No, it's just it all the post-production was just me.
I would love the pressure to be taken off me, to be fair. I mean, it was just because you just...
It's coming. More pressure is coming, because more people just want to see more work from you. Do you know what I mean?
Do they?
I think so.
Great. Do you know what? It's great. I love it.
There you go.
I'm loving it.
That's like bask in it, woman. Bask in it.
Oh my goodness. But I mean, I tell you what I really loved, and I'd missed this so much, was you know, you talk about Mark, and you know, working with Mark and Duncan and Luke and Ian France and Robbie, who came on as well, and Ted himself rolled up his sleeves.
I heard. I blinked and I missed them, but I'm pretty sure I got to watch it again to see it.
Yeah. I mean, we had a skeleton crew of 2 and 4 actors on set at any one time, you know, to make sure we had the rule of 6. And so everybody was, you know, just got on with it, and they were brilliant, and so skilled. And Duncan just, you know, choreographing everything as well. He was just brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. It was a lot of fantastic tricks, some magic tricks you said you can't reveal to me. And but you can tell me, who was it that stopped the brakes on the van that caused you to fall out?
It wasn't that he stopped the brakes, it was just that we were like, stop. We've got this trolley, the garden trolley. It's a garden trolley, but we decided to take it along to pull all the kit, you know, because we had all this kit. We've got no strong arms, so we ended up with this garden trolley in the back of the van. And then to film the opening sequence that you'll see, we needed movement, and we needed somebody who was going to sit in that trolley.
And that would be you.
and get pulled along by somebody who needed to be looking forward.
Yeah.
So Ian was looking forward. I was filming with the camera going backwards.
Yeah.
And all I knew was that he just lifted. He just, you know, I said, right, okay, action, woof, and he just went. And the whole thing just tipped. And
then I really, you know, I don't see this film stopping. This film definitely is going to be playing in a lot of different places, you know. So I wish you luck on that journey for this film. And I just want to say, I pick up your challenge.
Hey, what the three monologue challenge?
The 1 monologue challenge, the 3 versions. Bum, bum, bum. I pick it up, woman. I pick it up, woman.
Good. Right. So inventive.
So tell Sharon, so she tells the writers, and they get on to it. They all have to, you know, and then we have to pick one out of that. So let's say if they write 5, and then we pick one, and then that one will be the one that we will actually do 3 versions of the same one. I did this before, where for a class where I had everybody write, I had everybody do a different version of the same story. We had the fantastic Colin Hives. I always have to name drop him. And it was a femme fatale detective scene. And so we had the same scene, but each director had to create their own detective and stuff, and it was just fantastic. That's still available on YouTube. But it was just fantastic just to see the same dialogue delivered by different people, directed by different people and everything. And like, so I pick up the challenge.
Great. Do it.
So Mandy Lalley, thank you very much for joining me here at the Community Podcast. Please like and subscribe. We'll put this out and, it'll look like this because, hey, it's COVID. Thank you very much for showing us your lovely porn collection behind you. And it's true.
There's going to be a freeze frame, isn't there? There's going to be a freeze frame. They're going to go.
Be zooming in. What's that? What's that right there? I think I see it. It's the Lost Girls.
What is that? Oh, I'll be embarrassed now.
Oh my God! By Alan Moore. So anyway, Mandy Lalley, thank you very much for joining me. I'm Chase Johnson Lynch. You've been watching the Community Podcast here on Big Condo Radio, and all I can just say is, peace out.